For today's little project, a heart, a fabric confetti heart, we're going to need a piece of muslin. And what I've done is I put a heart in the middle with pencil. You can see it took me a couple times to get it the way I wanted it, but hearts can be any size, shape, they can be lopsided. This is kind of an art project using little tiny scraps of fabric. So I have my heart drawn on there, and you'll also need a little piece of batting, and we will get to that step next. But first we're going to work on the confetti. I took my fabric pieces and I just cut little tiny triangles, mainly triangles, and made some confetti. Here it is, right here. Little tiny pieces. And I also had some fabric that already had backing, iron-on backing on it. So that's another option. If you want to use some fabric, you can press little pieces on. So you could also cut this fabric, and when we get our pieces onto our fabric, you can press it and it won't have the loose edges. It just depends on what you like. So let's take our heart and start placing our confetti on our drawn shape here. And what I like to do is I like to start with the pencil edge and just lay my pieces along here. If you want your little pieces of confetti to stay more still than mine are going to stay, take a little glue stick and just put a teeny tiny bit onto your confetti, and it will stick there just for the few minutes that you're going to have before you sew these pieces on. So up on the top, I'm going to take one of my triangles and I'm going to curve that edge for the top. This is a very free form activity. Just supposed to be fun and easy to do. There's no right or wrong in this project. And here I just made a little arch on this piece because I want to get the top of my heart to have that curve. And the rest of them can go on without a curve. They can overlap a little. You could make this a bigger piece, a bigger heart on a bigger piece of fabric and turn it into a pillow. You've got a lot of options. And once I get a few of these on, I can go back and add more. So I think I'm going to stop right now, and I'm going to bring this over to my sewing machine and show you how I'm going to add lines to my little heart. And then I'll add a few more pieces of confetti as I go along. All right, I have my confetti pieces on my heart, and I'm going to be making straight lines from the top to bottom, working from the right here to the left, going from the top pencil line to the bottom. I'm aiming to at least catch the edges of my confetti, but I'm not really worried about where they are. I have an opening right here, so I might add a little piece right there now that my heart is kind of stable. This is just a fun art project. Now that I have put all those straight lines over my confetti, I'm going to add a piece of batting to the back. And I'm going to take my pearl cotton, and first of all, I want to just echo that heart, move out just a little bit, and do some big stitches all the way around my heart. Real simple. Now that I have my little running stitch around the heart, I'm going to go out in this white area and add stitches. They could just be straight stitches, they could be French knots, you could write a little message, little stars, lazy daisy stitches. There's all kinds of stitches you could do out here. Just have fun, do a little doodling with your needle and thread. Now that I have all my, what I call doodling stitches in, I'm going to trim my little heart. This could be a little tiny pillow, it could be a little sachet, and I'm going to add a little hook on the top, a ribbon hook, so it can hang on a knob or somewhere around the house. So I have the front finished, and I'll take a piece of fabric for the back, and I will just trim these until they're the same size. And I will sit down at the machine. I'll sew all the way around and leave an opening on the bottom. Before I do that though, I want to add a little hook to hang this. So I'll cut a little bit of ribbon and I'll put it right here in the middle on the top, and I'll pin these together right here. And I think my pins got away from me, but before I sit down, I'll put a pin right here and we will sew from here around, stop here, and leave an opening on the bottom. The last thing you need to do for your little confetti heart is take that opening at the bottom, take a needle and thread, and close that up. So here are my little hanging hearts using fabric confetti. Make yours big or small. Do some doodling with some red thread. Make a little pillow. Make a coaster. This would be a really cute coaster. Write something on the back, a nice loving message, and have fun sewing, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me.